Hello everyone, it's Peter here, Pet Listener. How are you doing, guys? Hello. So, in today's episode, we've got a NVR, or I think it's a just TV recorder, yes, with a hard drive. There is additional socket. I didn't even check it what it was for. It is working. I want to tell you the story about, let me plug it in first. You can see that it is for real working. I just plugged it into the power. Okay, so where's the button? Is here somewhere. Oh, button, sorry, the button at the back. Now button is pressed, okay, and it's booting, and I can hear the hard drive working. Yes, Samsung HDR, so that's what it's called. Enjoy. Okay, so let's power it off. I've checked, I've got a video on the TV as well. So what was wrong with this? Well, customer brought it in as a no power. Customer brought it in as a no power. Will it go off? Yeah, looks okay. I can switch it off. And I've opened it, and what happened was that the power supply here should give you 12 volts, but it didn't give any. So I unplugged the power cable from the power supply, plug in the power supply, and see that okay, now I've got 12 volts. So the next step, I said, probably there's a short on the main board because this has a short circuit protection, and that's why this power supply didn't blow off. So I did check, and I was right. I'm saying, okay, so what will be if I will use my bench power supply, if I will inject small voltage, like I'm talking small voltage 1 to 2 volts, sometimes 3, but depends on the whole picture, what's there. And if I will take a thermal camera. So I did take thermal camera. I've plugged in my bench power supply, and I'm looking, and as Northridge Fix is like to say, it was lightning like a Christmas tree. Yes. Alex from Northridge Fix. So one MOSFET, I'll show you what the MOSFET was. This one here. So it's a P-channel MOSFET, 30 volts. Yes. I bought two actually, so I paid $820 for these two MOSFETs, and I got one spare, pretty much. But it wasn't the MOSFET. I removed the MOSFET, and I still had a short. So I'm saying, okay, so this MOSFET is now, like, was receiving a current, but yet there is power fault. And I'm checking everywhere, and there's nothing on the thermal camera. I said, okay, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe, maybe I will just spray it with alcohol. So I sprayed the main board with alcohol. Yeah, thermal camera was right. Nothing was on the motherboard. I'm saying, okay. So I see here, like, several amps taking 2.6 amp. What is taking if the motherboard is not taking? And turns out that the hard drive connector, the SATA power connector, inside it was shorted. Not the main board. The main board was fine, but the SATA power connector was shorted. So I didn't go on the cable because it has radiation, like like you would go on the mirror or something, and you would know that it's reflection. It's not the proper reading. So I didn't count the cable. But after I was having it on the power supply and it was taking those amps, the plastic started to melt, and then when it started to melt, I start to see the problem because I start to sniff it first. Excuse me. And then I'm looking on the cable. I'm saying, wow, okay. So now it's in my face. Now I can cut it off. I've cut it off. I'm checking. Okay, there's that's not taking the current. So I've still ordered that MOSFET. I've replaced it with a new MOSFET. I've placed a new, well, used from old power supply SATA connector, only I had to take out the orange wire because it doesn't need orange wire. Those who don't know, the yellow wire in the computer power supply is 12 volts, the red one is 3.3 volts, but the orange should be 5 volts from what I remember. So this doesn't use the 5 volts. So after doing all of this, it's working, and it was reported to the customer, so it's ready for collection. So you see, sometimes, yes, sometimes it's a weird thing and you wouldn't suspect it. It's simple to fix, but yet, you know, it's weird. Yes. What I can say else, I can say that if you don't see on the camera, on the thermal camera, or you spray alcohol and you don't see anything evaporating, you need to start to think out of the box. Literally start to think out of the box. What else can be? Yes, don't increase amps or volts though, because you can kill devices, but just, you know, like, think out of the box, because this way you can save yourself a hassle. And to be true, this repair, yes, this repair should take minutes, shouldn't take hours, because removing 2 and 3/5 screws, checking the voltage on the power supply, it should take you less than 5 minutes. Yes, and then you see the problem. So you disconnect the power supply, you inject voltage from your bench power supply, then you see the short, you're removing the MOSFET, and then you still see the short. Okay, so then if you would all disassemble everything, that should take you about 10, maybe 15 minutes in total. If you'd have that MOSFET, you know, to replace it straight away, not a problem. Yes. So it's a 15-minute job. So in total, with taking that MOSFET, communicating with the customer, with total fix and putting assembly back, I would say will take you, let's say, half an hour. How much you can charge customer for a half an hour work? Well, I charge £30 for the labor. Why I charge £30 for the labor? Because this device is worth about £70, and that's my hour of work. Yes, £30 per hour. If that would be while waiting and a simple job, and that would be about half an hour, I would say I would charge the customer maybe £20. But because because I have to order parts, because I need to do it like several times, on and off on it, it took me longer. Yes, plus I had to use my own old power supply. I had to go there, get it, cut it, adjust it, put shrink, the hot heat shrink on it, and solder it, you know, and everything. So I would say an hour is a fair deal, yes, for me and for the customer, because that took me longer than should. But it's not the typical repair we're doing here. We're doing, you know, TVs, game consoles, laptops, computers, phones and tablets mainly, but we do as well to hi-fi and general electronics. So that's why, you know, this £30, I think it's a fair deal. An additional few quid minus invoice, so that will be minus £6. Not bad. £24 for half an hour job, let's say, about. It's a fair deal, I would say. So guys, that's it, that's everything. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.